Hey guys, in this video I'll show you how to reset a forgotten password on a Microsoft account or a local account on your computer. The difference between a Microsoft account and a local account: a Microsoft account will be tied to an email address such as this, your username at outlook.com, or it could be your username at gmail.com, etc. Uh, Most are going to have a PIN set up like this. In order to get in, if you don't know your PIN, you'll have to reset your PIN. So let's go through the process of resetting a PIN and a password on a Microsoft account. And then after that, I'll go through the process with you on gaining access to your computer and resetting the local account, which is a little more technical. But let's do the Microsoft account first and see if we can get in here. So we'll start by, I forgot my PIN. And then we'll wait for this menu box to load. And then here it's going to ask you for the same password. So if you don't know what the password for this account is, you can go ahead and say forgot password. When you set up your Microsoft account, it asks you to enter a secondary email address. So you'll select here to enter that secondary email address. And then down here, you'll type the username for the email address at gmail.com as already specified. So you'll just need to do this first part. I'm going to go ahead and type mine in and do get code and pause recording for a second. So once you've entered that email address and selected get code, it should send an email to the email account that you entered. Once you receive the email, you'll enter the code right here in the enter code box, in the dialog, the field, and then you'll click on the next button. On the next page, it's going to ask you to set your password for the account. So go ahead and enter your password in there. You can use this little eyeball here. You can click and hold it to confirm and make sure what you typed in is what you wanted. Once you got that, just go ahead and click on next. And then it will change your password for you. Go ahead and sign in. Enter the password here you just created. Alright, now that you reset your password, you'll go ahead and sign in here, enter your password, click sign in, and then it's going to want you to verify your email once again. So you'll enter your email address here again. I'm going to pause this for a moment. Once you've typed all that in and then clicked on next, it's going to send a code to that email address. Go back to that email address and get the code, enter it here, and then click on verify. Now once you've created or completed all those steps, you should be prompted with this screen here. Are you sure you want to restart your PIN or set your PIN? Say continue. And then it's going to ask for your password again. Microsoft really wants to make sure it is you accessing your account. Alright, now finally here you can create a new PIN. So you can do numbers, or you can do letters and symbols. If you click on this box right here, it'll enable you to do that. Once you got what you want in there, go ahead and click on OK. Alright, there you go. You have reset your PIN and your passwords. If you don't have a PIN set up on your Microsoft account and you're just using a password, the process is pretty much the same. You'll just go to I forgot my password, click on that link, and it should bring us up with the same type of box here in a moment. I'll pause recording while this loads up. Alright, you'll go ahead and enter the email account that's set up as a secondary account on your Microsoft account right here. Once you enter it in, then just click on Get Code, and it'll send a code to that email address. And then you'll just type in that email address on the next page and then click on Verify. So I'm going to do that now and hit Get Code. Alright, now you'll have an option to create a new password. Then you'll click on Next. And there you go, your password has been changed. Now you can sign in. Pause recording while my profile loads. Alright, we're into the account now after resetting our password. So if you still were not able to get access to your computer after trying to reset the PIN or the password on the Microsoft account, or if you just don't have a Microsoft account and it's a local account, then you'll likely need to reset, or you need to enable the local administrator account on the computer and then use that local administrator account to reset your password. So at the beginning of the video I explained the difference between a Microsoft account and a local account. So the Microsoft account is tied to an email, and the local account is stored on the computer. So if you have a computer running Windows 7, 8, or 10 Professional, you'll be able to right click on here on the Start menu and go to Computer Management. And you can expand local users groups and then select users. However, if you can't log into your computer, you're not going to be able to do this, but this is just for an example. So on every computer from Windows 7 and on, there is an administrator account that's created during installation of Windows. So Microsoft has set this account to disabled by default. So what you can do to get access to your computer is to enable this account and then set a password on it. But you can't exactly access the account if you can't log into the computer. So what you need to do is get a USB drive that has at least 8 gigs of storage on it. You'll need to do this from another computer, obviously. You'll need to download the Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. All these steps are covered in the next upcoming part of this video. So you'll use that flash drive to boot into the installation. They call it the pre-installation environment with Microsoft. You'll run some commands and do some stuff. Basically, it'll restart the computer and it will enable this account, and you'll be able to set a password on it. And then once you go through all those steps, you'll be able to log in and then get your files, or just reset your password and log back into it, or create a new account, or do whatever you need. So let's go ahead and do that process now. To begin, we're going to need to create a bootable installation USB disk. So if you don't know how to do that, I'll put that in the video right here for you. So you'll need to go to another computer that has internet access, and you'll need a USB flash drive that has at least 8 gigabytes of storage. Plug the USB flash drive into the computer and then follow the steps upcoming. You'll need a flash drive with at least 8 gigabytes of capacity. Insert your USB flash drive. open your web browser and go to google.com. In google.com, search for Windows 10 Media Creation Tool. You should select the first link. It should say Windows 10 Disk Image ISO file as shown in the video. Click the link. Scroll down on the web page and click on the Download Now button. Then open your Downloads folder and open up the application. When prompted, click on Yes. Click on the Accept button to accept the End User License Agreement. Select the option to create installation media and then click on Next. Leave all the default settings and click on Next on this screen. Select USB flash drive. Once you click Next, this next step will format the flash drive, so if you have any important data, please back it up before you proceed. The wizard should automatically detect the flash drive. Click Next to begin. Click on Finish. Once your USB drive is completed and you've clicked on Finish, go ahead and remove the USB drive from the computer that you created it on and plug it into your computer that you want to reset the password on. You're going to want to keep the USB drive in your computer and then restart your computer. I'm doing this on a virtual computer to show you an example of how it's done. I'm going to start up my VM. When you see this, press any key. This will start your computer to the installation disk. Don't worry if this won't install anything on your computer. When you get to this screen, hold your left shift key and press F10. Once this box opens, type regedit. Press enter. Now you want to load the Hive for the local machine. Select this here and right click. Select this here and then click on File and then Load Hive. Select this PC. You're going to want to select the drive that has the most space used. So for instance, this is likely your operating system drive, 112 gigs free of 126. So double click on this. And you'll know it's the right folder because you'll see the Windows folder, users, and all your program files folders. You want to select the Windows folder. And then you want to go to System 32. Under here, search for a folder named config and open the folder. And then select the system item and select open. Here, name the key something like 123. Make sure your number lock was on. 123. Okay. Alright, and notice you don't see anything. You have to expand this folder here. Then select the 123 Hive we just loaded. Click the arrow. And then select Setup. Here, we're going to edit this. Double click this. and then type in cmd.exe and say OK. For your setup type, double click this, delete this value, and set this to 1. Say OK. Alright, now we can restart the computer. So we'll close this out, we'll close this, and just close this. Remove the flash drive from the machine as well before clicking close. Once you removed it, go ahead and click close, say yes. I still have my flash drive in, that's why mine's saying this. Just let it start up. Okay, so we've set the registry settings to start up with the administrator command line. So now we can enable the local administrator account and we can set a password on it. So here's how we do that. Do net user administrator space / active colon yes, and then press enter. Alright, see the command was completed successfully. Now we'll need to set a password for the administrator account. So now you'll do net user and then administrator. And then this will be the password. I'm just going to use Monday01. And then press enter. Alright, now we need to remove the registry settings that we edited. So now type regedit one more time. Okay, now once that's open, select H key local machine and expand this here. And notice the 123 folder is no longer there. The 123 folder was loaded into memory from the boot variable. So let's just go here to system and expand. Scroll down and go to setup. Modify this attribute right here. Just delete this value and say OK. And notice our setup type is already changed back to 0. So now everything is reverted back to the way it was before changes were made. Click close to close out this window. And type exit. Now, notice how we have our Microsoft account and our administrator account. So we'll select our administrator account and then we'll type our password, Monday01, just to show you, Monday01. And I'll log on. Alright, finally that's done. It took forever and a day. So let's say accept to the default settings. And we wait again. Alright, looks like we have a local user account now. Mine's going a little slow because it's in a virtual machine. Bear with me. Alright. So now we're logged on as a local administrator account. So what do you do if you can't get back into the other account? Well, You can attempt to reset your Microsoft account password. You can go to outlook.com and you can type in the email address that you used to log in and reset your password. And chances are you may have it set up to your mobile device to send you a code or another email address, depending on how you set up your Microsoft account. If you don't have access to that account at all, don't worry, you can still get to the files. So this is the way you can get to the files. Select File Explorer. Select this PC. Select the C drive. Select Users. Once you selected Users, you'll want to locate the account that you were logging into to retrieve the data. So, for example, let's say you were logging into an account named Windows 10. You double click on the folder here, and then under here is where all your data will reside at. So you'll have your documents, downloads, favorites, and all of that good stuff. If it was a Microsoft account that you were logging into, I'll explain the OneDrive redirection here in a moment. So on newly created Microsoft accounts and Windows 10 installations, OneDrive will actually redirect your desktop documents and pictures folders to a different location. So if you go under this PC and then C and then Users, wait, where was that? Properties, location. Yeah, okay. So this one is under Win10. So notice there's no desktop folder here. It's because it's being redirected to this OneDrive folder. So you click OneDrive, and then there's all the stuff there. Desktop, and see there's a new text document in the compressed zip file I made. So let's make sure we can access that from the administrator account. Do my Monday 01. There we go. Wait for the profile to load. So let's say we had a bunch of important files over there on that Microsoft account and we've lost access to it, but we need to get to the files. So once we log in, I'll show you how to get to that data. Alright. We'll open File Explorer, this PC, go to the C drive, Users, this is where all user profile data is loaded. So this is for public users. This is our user account right here that we're logged into. And this is the account that we want to retrieve the files from. So we'll double click this folder and then we'll select OneDrive. Let's say we have an important text document on the desktop file. So there we go. So we can get to our text document, our zip file, and our key finder installer file. We can copy those, paste those to our desktop, and there we go. Now we have access to our files. So if you're looking for anything for desktop documents or pictures and you don't see them here, it's likely going to be under the OneDrive folder, because OneDrive uses a redirection setting that sets your desktop documents and pictures to the OneDrive folder. So here's how you can create a new account It's advisable that you don't use the local administrator account to use your computer. That can cause some security risks, as some malicious applications might try to log on as administrator or elevate privilege. It just shouldn't be done. You should keep the administrator account as a backup at all times in case something like, this happens, if you forget your password or something like that. So let me show you how to create a personal account for yourself, or you can just reset the password for the account that you had been using. So you right click on the start button here. Let me be clear here. This method here will only work if you're using Windows 8 or 10 Professional. So right click here and select Computer Management. Wait for the Management console to load. You'll expand Local Users and Groups. And here on mine you see I only have the Windows 10 account and the administrator account. I'm signed in as administrator right now. So let's say your name is, let me create an account here real quick to give you an example. Let's just do JDoe for lack of better names. Set password. You can say password never expires if you want to. Alright, so let's say this is the account that you've been logging into forever and you can no longer log into it because you forgot your password. So now that you're signed in as an administrator, you can actually right click this account and go to set password and click on proceed, and then here you can set a new password and confirm it, and then click on OK, and then it'll reset the password for that local account. And then if that's all you need to log into that account is that password, then you can just click on start here and you can sign out and then select your account and sign in with your new password, and all your data should be right where you left it. It shouldn't have any problems. If you had a Microsoft account that you can't get into, then you'll need to create a new user account and migrate all your data over to that account. So there's two ways you can get to this console here. If you're on a professional version of Windows, like I showed you a moment ago, you can right click here, go to Computer Management, and it opens this window. If you don't have that option, then you can click on Start and you can type Control to open up your control panel. Then you can select User Accounts. If your control panel items don't display like this, make sure the View By is set to Category. It might be like this in large icons or small icons, but in most cases it should always be set by category. If you've never logged into this account and made changes, so just go to User Accounts and then select User Accounts again, and then you can manage another user account here, and then here you can add a new user account. You can also manage user accounts here. So notice how this local account is password protected. Here you can change the account name, you can change the password on the account, you can change the account type, delete the account, or manage another account. Change the account type. When you create an account, you're not an administrator, so it is a standard account. So that means if you want to install some software or do anything that requires administrative privilege on the new account, it's going to prompt you for an administrator password to install or do anything. This is good if you have an account for your kid or something like that. Um, so they won't be able to install things, and you can kind of give them a lower level privilege account to work on, so bad things don't happen to your computer. If it's your account and you just want an admin privilege on your account and you don't want to continuously type in passwords to do everything, just select the account, go to change account type, and you can select administrator and change account type. So now notice this is a password protected administrator account. Click back here. So if we want to add a new account, we say add new user in PC settings, and then add someone else to this computer. And it gives you a local version of the same MMC. So you can right click here and go to new user, enter what you would like your username to be. You can set a password here. You should make sure you uncheck this box unless for some reason you want to reset the password when you log in. So I always uncheck this box, and I make sure I check this box to make sure the password never expires, so Windows won't ask you to change your password periodically. It's best practice that you don't set never expire, but in most cases for your home computer it's not very practical. So just check this box here, set all your stuff up, and just go ahead and hit create once you're all done. I'm gonna hit close for now. Alright, so now you want to log into that account. So you'll click on start, click on administrator, sign out, and then you should have an option to sign into that new account. Once you sign into that account, Windows is going to create a folder for it. It's called a user profile folder, and those are stored here as showed before. So here's all the data for each user account, but the account, the folder won't pop up here until you log into the account. That's because when you load the account, it creates a profile for it, and then it stores all the data there. So you'll need to log into the account and then come back to the administrator account and move all your data over. So let's say you've loaded the account and then you went to your start menu, clicked here, and you signed out, and then you signed back in to the administrator account. Now you can migrate your data over. So you can go to your user account. Let's say this was the old Microsoft account here. You'll click here, and you'll click your OneDrive folder and desktop, and you'll get your stuff. You'll copy it. You can click back on this PC, and then C, and then users. And just for example, let's say administrator is our new account that you created. You'll go here, and you'll go to desktop, and you can paste your stuff there. It's giving me an error because I didn't give myself permission to those files. But that's how you back up your data from one account to another. I hope this video has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I'm here to help. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments section below, and I will do my best to help you out. If you could go ahead and help me out by liking and subscribing, greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.